Pitch inside and low. The count 2-1.
Malone lost a spot in the rotation, and they sent him to the minors. And so then they had all this influx of pitching, so they traded him here.
2-1, cut on a missed on a change away. Got to stay back against Malone, and the count 2-2.
Doesn't throw overpowering. Fastball change.
And the fastball change was 88 and 83. That's not a great difference.
Nope.
The 2-2. Lined hard but foul down the left field line. So the count holds 2-2. Another very big crowd at the ballpark today. Here comes the 2-2 to CY. And the change is low. And the count 3-2. A-Rod on deck. So this is the second batter in a row that he's gone to a 3-ball count on. And here is the payoff pitch. It's low ball 4. Swing is on. And here is Alex, who's at 271, 20 homers, and 54 RBIs. Nice greeting for A-Rod as he digs in. You know, in the Yankee dugout, they are saying, and in the hitters meeting, they were saying, stay back. Stay back. Make them throw strikes. 1 on, 1 out. And the lefty now deals. And there's a strike. And the count 0-1. His fastball topping out at 88 thus far.
Yeah, he hasn't hit 90 yet. I was just thinking about that. That last one was 89. That's it. Doesn't throw hard. Hit spots.
Tries to anyway.
Yeah, tries to. Well, he'd better with an 89-mile-an-hour fastball.
0-1. Swung on and grounded toward third. The flip to second. There's one. The relay to first is in time. A double play. A 5-4-3. Escobar to Dozier to Plouffe for the 5-4-3 GP. For the Yanks, nothing across at the end of a half. Yankees nothing, and the Twins coming to bat on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. And Sabathia deals. There's a strike. 5 RBIs. He's going to be a leadoff man unless he goes into a slump or gets injured. A leadoff man is going to hit 30 home runs. That's pretty good for a leadoff man. Sabathia deals 0-1, and Dozier takes a pitch outside 1-1.
Ford vehicles have it all. Great design, intelligent features, all at a price that won't break the bank. See why they're the total package at your local Ford dealer now, or visit us at tristateford.com.
Now it'll be a 1-1, and Dozier lines one to left, and it is a base hit. Cut off by Young in the gap, fires in, so Dozier is on with a leadoff hit. And that will bring Aaron Hicks. As I mentioned in the top of the first, against Sabathia, they're putting in all right-hand hitters. Now, it's not, when you see that, it's true for the Yankees as well. It's not they don't think the lefties can hit Malone or, for that matter, Sabathia, but it gives a good day to rest people and get in the right-hand hitters who sit on the bench. So anyway, the Twins have, including their switch hitters, here's one of them, 9 right-hand hitters. Here's Aaron Hicks, the center fielder, at 259, 3 homers and 11 RBIs. And the pitch is strike. Well, the big news in baseball, if you missed the pregame, was Cole Hamels, with every scout in the world watching, and what will probably be his last start as a Phil, and he pitched a no-hitter at Wrigley Field.
Threw 130 pitches.
Well, that is something. The last time I looked, he had 12 strikeouts and 2 walks. Now, John Ryan Murphy trots out to the mound, but boy, what a statement, huh?
Well, here's the other thing. First of all, if I'm a scout, I want to know what that 130 pitches has done to his arm for the rest of the year. But here's the other thing: a guy who's going to be traded throws a no-hitter against a team who hasn't been no-hit in 50 years. The last time the Cubs were no-hit, the perfect game that Sandy Koufax pitched in 1965 in September. That was the last time.
Wow. The pitch to Hicks, swung on and drilled at deep left center field. That ball is going to be gone. What a great beginning for the Twins. Dozier singles and Aaron Hicks homers into the bullpen in left center. Wow, what a beginning. A 2-run home run, and Minnesota takes the fastest 2-0 lead you can take.
You know, John and I were talking about an article that Patrick Royce had in the Minnesota Star Tribune. He was pretending to be Ron Gardenhire, sitting and watching his Twins, who never hit against the Yankees and certainly never hit home runs, pummel the Yankees last night. And here's another home run by Aaron Hicks.
And the Twins, during Gardenhire's tenure, almost never beat the Yankees. A breaking ball strike. Had nothing to do with Gardenhire. He was a terrific manager. It's how your players play. Players win and lose games. Plouffe, Trevor Plouffe playing first today, right-handed with power. He homered also last night. Who didn't? And the pitch is grounded foul. Plouffe at 259, 15 homers and 54 RBIs. Gee, what a beginning.
Oh, boy.
Not exactly a great beginning for CeCe. A clean base hit to the left, and then a bombaroo from Aaron Hicks. For Hicks, just his 4th homer. He now has 13 RBIs. And Sabathia deals line right to Ryan, who makes the catch at his shoe tops. So there's one away.
Well, they're certainly not feeling him. They're not. He's not certainly fooling them. And the pitch to Dozier that he hit was, he tried to get the pitch in. That's what CeCe was trying to say he was trying to do, get more pitches inside to the right-handers, and they just stay right on the inner half of the plate. The pitch to Hicks was on the outer half of the plate, and he's a strong young man, because he just pulled that over the left field wall. That was some shot.
Here's Miguel Sano, a right-hand hitter, and there's a breaking ball that missed outside 1-0. Sano, who hit a 2-run home run to dead center last night, first inning, set a good tone for the Twins as a 6'4", 260-pound DH third baseman, swings and misses. He is 15 for 53 with 3 homers and 11 RBIs. So a noisy beginning for the Twins. They take a 2-0 lead. Hit on the ground hard to third, and Headley fields and throws. They're a 2-way. The first pitch of the game from Malone came in at 87 miles an hour. When choosing the pitch is important, your choices matter too. Please drive responsibly. A reminder from the New York City Department of Transportation and the Vision Zero initiative. Now, I don't know if these numbers are completely correct, but you'll get the idea. Under Gardenhire, the Yankees, before last night's loss, were 14-4 here at Target. They were 66-24 against the Twins overall, and 12-2 in the postseason. The pitch is outside to Torrey Hunter. But as they say, you're only as good as your last show, so all that's in the past.
And this is a very different team. They've got a lot of youth now.
They did call that a strike on the half swing. The 0-1 has popped up. Off first goes to Shera toward the Twins dugout, and it is over the dugout. So the count 0-2. Torrey Hunter at 255, 15 homers and 50 RBIs.
You know, talking to Torrey before the game, I asked him about the numbers, because he's got really good numbers against CeCe, 21 for 76 with 3 home runs, and he said, well, that was the old CeCe. This new CeCe, I'm only 3 for 18. I like the old guy better. So Torrey Hunter thought he hit better when CeCe wasn't trying to trick people, when he was just coming at him with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He liked that better.
0-2 is inside, and the count 1-2.
Last night, he tied Kirby Puckett for 6 on the Twins' all-time home run list.
And the 1-2 from CeCe. Swung on and lined to right, but right at Beltran, who makes the catch. However, Minnesota takes the lead. A single by Dozier and a 2-run home run by Aaron Hicks. Well, 2 runs on 2 hits, no one left at the end of 1. 2-0 Minnesota on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
66 and 101.9 FM, WFAN and WFAN FM, New York.
Now, here we go to the top of the second inning. Mark Teixeira will lead it off for the Yanks. A switch hitter batting right against the lefty Tommy Malone. And the pitch outside. Change off the outside corner, 1-0. Tex at 260. 24 homers, 65 RBIs. He had 3 hits last night. And the pitch is low, 2-0. The Yankees were shut out by Hughes. The Yankees scored their 1 run in the 9th inning when it hardly mattered. I mean, they were down 10-0 at the time. The 2-0. There's the strike. And the count 2-1.
You know, even Hughes admitted that the Yankees hit him pretty well. He said his defense was tremendous.
And 2-1. Swung on a high pop to left center. Coming in is Shane Robinson. He makes the catch in left field, 1 away. So 1 down. And that will bring up Beltran. Carlos, like Teixeira, exactly at 260. 7 homers, 31 RBIs. 3 infielders go on the left side for Carlos. Yankees trailing 2-0, top of the second. And the pitch is low. Malone is one of those pitchers, and there are a bunch of them who've been successful. But you look like you want to run up there and grab a bat. It looks like he's just playing catch. There is the 1-0. Swung on and grounded to deep second. Dozier fields, throws. Safe. Dozier was on the left side, and he got the ground ball right near the shortstop Santana, and Dozier's throw was a little late. So good for Carlos. He legged it out, and the Yankees get their second base run of the first hit.
Well, Paul Molitor is standing on the top step, and nobody's gone back to their positions yet, so he's waiting to see whether he's going to challenge this or not. Scoreboard update brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com. And now he wants to challenge this. He wants the umpires to take a look at it. He was waiting for whoever their video guy is to tell him what to do. So they're going to take a look at it. And this instant replay review is sponsored by Sands Bethlehem. There's only one place where you can play your way. It's closer than you think in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. Only a 90-minute drive from New York City. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You know, the crowd roared, and I'll tell you why. They saw Beltran's foot not touching the base. It was up over, getting ready to come down, and the ball about ready to come into the glove. That's a tough call. Did the ball go into the glove before his foot came down on the bag? It was that close. If they call him out, I really wouldn't be surprised, but that's how close it was. I'm amazed that the crowd roared. I mean, they really thought he was out?
Well, they saw a different. This one on the screen is more clear, but they have to see it in New York. And he is indeed out. Meanwhile, scoreboard, as I said, Detroit beat Boston 5-1. Yoenis Cespedes' 15th home run. They're in the top of the 9th in Seattle. Toronto has an 8-6 lead over Seattle.
They called him out. You could tell by the crowd roar. So no hit. This is a simple 4-3. Well, I guess not simple, but it's a 4-3. And here's Headley. 3 infielders remain on the left side. And the pitch outside, 1-0.
Bottom of the 5th in Tampa Bay. Chris Davis's grand slam has made it Baltimore 4, Tampa Bay nothing, as they're in the bottom of the 5th. 3-0 White Sox over Cleveland, top of the 1st in Cleveland.
Headley hits a foul fly down the right field line.
Houston and Kansas City just underway. Scott Feldman against Danny Duffy, and still to come later, Texas at the Angels. Now the 1-1 is low inside, 2-1. San Francisco beat Oakland 2-1. And that number 2 was Madison Bumgarner's 3rd home run of the year. So helped his own cause.
Pitch. Hit on the ground to third. And the throw from Escobar is high, but tagging him was Plouffe. Nice play. We threw it high, but after Plouffe caught it, he reached, and he tagged Headley plainly. So Susan will finish the scoreboard in the bottom half. The Yankees go down 1-2-3. And at the end of an inning and a half, 2-0 Minnesota on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Finish up quickly here. John told you about Cole Hamels' no-hitter. 5-0 Phillies beat the Cub 129 pitches. Mets lead the Dodgers 1-0, bottom of the first, everything else later. I told you about Sandy Koufax's perfect game. Well, a month before that.
Here's Escobar, and he hits one down the left field line that is foul to the seats. Eduardo Escobar, who is playing third tonight, switch hitter batting right.
So Sandy Koufax threw a perfect game on September 9th, 1965 at Wrigley Field. On August 19th, 1965, Jim Maloney. Remember him, John?
Yes, sir. Right hand of the Reds.
10-inning no-hitter.
0-1 is cut on him. Missed 0-2.
10 innings of no-hit ball. So if he wants to be Johnny Vandermeer, Cole Hamels, he'll probably do it for a different team. Wouldn't that be something?
Yes, that really would be something. And everyone in the baseball world will look at his next start. Here is the 0-2. Grounded to short. Ryan Fields throws one away. 10-second station ID on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Reggie Jackson denies he got physical during a heated confrontation with an autograph seeker in Cooperstown. Tony Page follows the Yankees on WFAN New York.
John Sterling, Susan Wellman at Target Field in Minneapolis. 2-0 Twins. First inning 2-run home run by Aaron Hicks. Escobar, before the groundout, was a .251. 4 homers, 29 RBIs. And Sabathia deals low. Here is the smallish left fielder, Shane Robinson, who's at .246, no homers, 13 RBIs. Right-hand hitter. And the pitch low from CC, 2-0.
And here is Yankees Samsung Trivia, brought to you by the Samsung Curve SUHD TV, available at Adorama and Adorama.com. Name the 2 former Yankee players who've won the Ford Frick Award, Cooperstown Special Honor for Broadcasters.
Now the 2-0 is low, 3-0. Kurt Suzuki, the catcher, is on deck. And CC's 3-0 is a strike. The count 3-1. Now Boston is lost, and Baltimore is about to beat Tampa Bay. The pitch is a strike. You know, one thing, Susan, about the Yankee big loss column lead, if it stays this way, I'm not saying it will, through August, in September, you know, everybody plays each other, so someone's going to lose. Well, it's tough to make up 7 games that way, but they may not have a 7-game lead at that point. We'll see. Now here's the 3-2 to Robinson, and the pitch hit on the ground, base hit, and the shortstop hold to left field. Chris Young fields and throws back in, so a 1-out single.
And that is what's going to be interesting about September, if the Yankees can keep what they're doing. One more thing about this rotation here. We were talking about Nathan Eovaldi pitches tomorrow, and then Monday in Texas, Nova is pitching, and then there's no pitcher scheduled for Tuesday. As it stands right now, it could be a combination of Adam Warren and Chris Capuano. It won't be Severino because he pitched yesterday. So that is to be determined, and then they want to push both Tanaka and Pineda back, give them an extra day's rest.
Here's Kurt Suzuki, 1 on and 1 out. And that pitch low. Suzuki is at .232, 3 homers, 28 RBIs.
one of the things that Joe Girardi and Larry Rothschild have to do is manage Tanaka. They're going to try and give him an extra day as often as they can, which really takes a toll on your pitching staff.
It does. It fouls up your pitching staff, and Sabathia deals, grounded foul. And I think it's one is a little worried about his elbow, which is fine, I guess. You can't crawl inside someone's body. And secondly, he's used to pitching on 6 days. They pitch on a 6-day rotation in Japan. There'll be a 1-1 to the right-hand hitting Suzuki. Suzuki, by the way, has unusual numbers. Not a great hit. Oh, Robinson was going as CeCe stepped off and he slid on back. A moment later, they could have picked him off. But anyway, Suzuki's certainly not a great hitter. And he's 7 for 31 off CeCe, but 4 of the hits are home runs. And he is not a home run hitter.
Suzuki also hits a lot better at home. He's hitting 5 straight at home. He's only hitting, what's he hitting? 232 on the year, but
the pitch hit on the ground to short. Double play ball. Feeds. Oh, the ball's dropped by Drew. Everybody's safe. I think Drew, who normally makes no errors, I think he was ready to throw the ball before he caught it, and that's what happened. That's a double play ball. So the Twins have first and second, and then 1 man out.
Well, Ryan fields the ball and throws it to Drew, and it just hit the heel of his glove and bounced through it. He should have had that. He always does. You know, I don't know whether it a little bit on Ryan. I mean, that's got to be on Drew, right?
Right. I scored it that way. I score ahead of the score because mine isn't official. That's what I think. And I would call that error on Drew.
Yeah, well, it hit the heel of his glove.
So 2 on and 1 out. And here's the 9th hitter, the shortstop Danny Santana, another switch hitter batting right. Yankees already trailing 2-0, and what a break they gave the Twins. And Sabathia was very good about that. And he will say, hey, they make a lot of great plays behind me. I don't worry about errors, but that, if it was a double play, that ended the inning. Instead, there's 2 on and 1 man out.
He just flat out missed it. Just went right off the back of his glove.
Pitch is into the air down the right field line. Tailing foul into the seats. And the count 0-1.
And Murphy going out to talk to CeCe. And we just looked at it again. It was a really great feed from Brendan Ryan.
You know why it was, I thought? It was up and on the inside of the bag away from the runner. So if he caught it, he could take 1 step and throw to first.
So it is a fielder's choice and an error on the second baseman.
It's about the deals low to Santana, 1-1. Now Sabathia deals, and it's dribbled at home plate but behind the plate. Look out, 1-2. Robinson off second, and Suzuki off first with 1 out. And the 1-2. Strike 3 on the inside corner. Good pitch. So there is the first strikeout of the game for CeCe. His first strikeout at Winthrop University Hospital. Reminds you they strike out cancer with their CyberKnife technology. Winthrop University Hospital, your health means everything. Now, Santana takes a call, 3rd strike, but here is a much more dangerous hitter, Brian Dozier, with 2 on and 2 out.
And what CeCe did there on the right-handers, he was saying to me the other day that he needs to get more inside on the right-handed hitters. That was a strike. That was right on the inside corner. He's got to do that more against right-handers.
Probably a cutter, I would think. I think the ball probably moved in. There's a breaking ball strike, a backdoor breaking ball to Dozier, who singled to left his first time.
Well, he's been using that cutter a lot. We've talked a lot about how Andy Pettitte taught him that cutter, and they talked about it a lot in Houston when Andy came. Now, and it's really started to be successful for him. That's how he's got to pitch now, as Torrey Hunter said, tricky.
The 0-1 is low. A cutter is just a fastball that moves lefty to a righty. Will move in like a slider would, but doesn't have the depth of a slider. But like Mariano proved, because that was Mariano, if the ball moves a little, you miss the big part of the bat. The idea. There'll be a 1-1 to Dozier. Runners lead first and second, 2 men out. Bottom of the second inning, a 2-0 Twins lead. And the pitch is a fastball away. And the count 2-1. Toronto has won their game. They beat Seattle 8-6. And Susan told you Boston lost their game. And they also lose Dustin Pedroia, who goes back on the DL. Now here's the 2-1 to Dozier. And the pitch is popped up off first, foul. Teixeira near the Twins dugout makes the catch. So CeCe pitches through the error and gets out without any further trouble. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left. At the end of 2-0 Minnesota on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, we go to the Yankee third as they trail 2-0. Your local tri-state Audi dealers invite you to experience the uncompromised performance of the Audi A3 today, or visit anytime at tristateaudidealers.com. Bottom third for the Yanks. Here is the catcher, John Ryan Murphy. Murph's at .272, no homers, 5 RBIs. He's at 81 at bats and hits a ground ball to short. And the throw's high, and this time he's still out. Plouffe made that play twice in a row, leaping and tagging at the same time. A very good play on the high throw by Santana, 1 away.
And here's the answer to today's trivia question, brought to you by the Samsung Curve SUHD TV, available at Adorama. Who are the 2 Yankee players who won the Ford Frick Award, Cooperstown Special Honor for Broadcasters? Jerry Coleman and Tony Kubek.
I looked at that play again. Even from up here, you could see that Plouffe made the tag. He's a third baseman. He's playing the heck out of first. So, 1 away. Here's Brendan Ryan. He's 5 for 17, no homers and 3 RBIs.
Plouffe, a very valuable player, can also play the outfield.
And can hit for power. Pitches outside 1-0. And the pitch outside, and it's 2-0. You know what a good question is that is being asked around? A very good question for the Yankees, but for just about all teams. You can ask Susan. The 2-0 is a strike. If you make the wild card, obviously it's one game for everything. Who pitches? Who starts?
On the Yankees?
Or yes, almost any team. Who starts for the Twins, who are in that wild card game right now? The 2-1 pitch is low, but let's try the Yankees. Tanaka, Pineda. I guess you could say, well, John, we have to wait, see who's pitching well at that
right.
time.
Well, you also have to. It's probably the next day, so you have to. If you make the wild card, unless it's all settled a week before, what if it's the last day and you make it?
You have to pitch your best. The 3-1 is popped high in the air to center field. Hicks comes in to make the catch. In that last game, hey, you pitch your best, and if you have to pitch your bullpen in the wild card game, you do.
But what if your best pitched the night before?
He doesn't pitch in the wild card. That's what I mean. You have to pitch your best to make the playoffs.
Whomever is the best who's on rest. I mean, you can't, if it's set up for 5 days in advance, then I guess what you do, you'd pitch. If the pitching staff stays like this, I guess you pitch Tanaka. But you don't know who's going to be pitching well. Maybe there's somebody coming that we don't know. Maybe Tuesday someone else will be pitching.
Pitch is low. Maybe it'll be Cole Hamels.
Probably not Tuesday, though, since today's Saturday. Maybe it'll be David Price.
Drew takes a ball, though. It's fun anyway. Fun question, which is why I brought it up.
So you pitch your best because you might not get to the next round.
Absolutely. Pitches low, 2-0. I saw a little documentary on Randy Johnson, who's going in the Hall of Fame, on MLB today. And Seattle and the Angels had a one-game playoff in '95. Well, he pitched it. So he wasn't available to the third game. Drew at 185, 12 homers, 26 RBIs. And the pitch cut out and missed on a breaking ball. Well, the count 2-1 on Steven. It's 2-0 Twins. We're in the top of the third. The Yankees do not have a hit. Chris Young drew a walk, but A-Rod grounded into a double play, so the Yankees have not left anyone on.
You know, that's something that's happened for years. I remember in '67, first game of the World Series.
Pitch, Drew hits a high pop off third. Going to be foul, and Escobar could not make the catch. Give it a good try.
You'd say St. Louis and the Red Sox. Who pitched for the Red Sox '67? It wasn't Jim Lomborg. He had to pitch that game for them to get in. It was Jose Santiago.
Yep, you're absolutely right. No, that has happened a lot, no question.
Of course, Randy Johnson, one of those guys that 2 days later was coming out of the pen in the sixth inning.
He did that.
He sure did.
He pitched the third game to win and the fifth game in relief.
Yep.
And he did that for Arizona in the 2001 World Series as well.
Yankees saw that twice with him.
Now here's the 2-2 to Drew, and Malone deals. Caught on him, missed on a slow breaking ball. The Yankees are being slow balled to death by Tommy Malone. Sounds like a song. 1-2-3 go the Yanks at the end of 2.5. 2-0 Twins on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Now to the bottom of the third inning. Here's the homer hitter, Aaron Hicks. Hicks is one of those physically talented players, can run and play the outfield, etc., etc. If he could hit, he'd be a big-time player. And he hit a 2-run home run his first time into the bullpens. And Consen misses at a breaking ball, 0-1. The Twins, by virtue of the Hicks 2-run home run, have a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the third.
This is such an interesting team. It really is split down the middle between really seasoned veterans and really young, inexperienced kids.
0-1, swung on and hit in the air to center. Coming in Ellsbury, it drops in front of him. There's another base hit for Hicks. And a good start for the Twins in the third inning.
We are coming to you live from the Sunoco broadcast booth, the Sunoco Free Fuel 5000. Get the decal, get spotted, and win. And right there, Hicks did something that he says Torrey Hunter taught him to do, and that is to shorten up and just meet the ball and not try to swing through everything. Try and get those swings a little more compact.
Well, here's Trevor Plouffe. A right-hand hitter, lined to short his first time. Hicks has stolen 8 out of 11, and the pitch is a big slider low on the count 1-0 to the right-hand hitting Plouffe. Sabathia battling and deals, and there's a strike on the outside corner, and the count 1-1. And anyway, through the first 3 innings, Tommy Malone has just slow-balled the Yankees to death. They don't have a base hit yet.
You know, I remember him doing this when he played with Oakland.
Pitches inside, 2-1 on Plouffe.
And he was pitching well, and then they traded for Samaja. They had no room for him, so they sent him down. And then they needed a defensive outfielder, so they traded him here for Sam Fuld, which I thought was an interesting trade. I mean, he's not very old. He's 27, I think.
There's the 2-1. Foul down the right field line out of play, 2-2. Fuld is an extra outfielder. I guess if you take a chance on Malone, soft throwing lefty, and if he pitches well, you really come out ahead. Fuld is an okay player, but he's the kind of guy who comes in off the bench and plays defense late in the game. All right, it'll be a 2-2 to right-hand hitting Trevor Plouffe. Hicks has a good lead. Pitches strike 3 on the inside corner. Plouffe, I don't think, loved the call. He just stands there. And slowly walks away, 1 down.
And he said something to home plate umpire Jeff Nelson. He probably just said to him, see, you know what that is, John? That's that high strike that the players were complaining to Joe Torre about. Right by the letters, yeah.
Yeah, and that ball was at the letters where a strike is supposed to be called and right across the plate. I mean, if you go knees to the letters, you can't miss. I think what I would argue about.
Inside.
Here is Sano, and the pitch is low. From observation this year, is they really are calling low strikes below the knees. You give up on the pitch when you see it low.
Right, I think that was part of it too. At the All-Star game, players were talking to Joe Torre about it. Torre's been around talking to different teams about it.
Now here's the 1-0. And the pitch outside, maybe a backdoor breaking ball without bite at all. So 2-0 on a very dangerous hitter. Now Sabathia is set to go. It'll be a 2-0. There's a slow breaking ball strike, backdoor breaking ball, 2-1. When Stephen Drew struck out to end the top of the third, that was the 15th out of the game. Brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit them at geico.com. Pitch is dribbled weakly up the first baseline. It's going to be a base hit. There's no one there. So 2 on and 1 out. It was a dribbler on the first base side of the mound. It was like a left-hand hitter putting down a drag bunt. There was no one there. The second baseman, Drew, is near second. Teixeira is at first. A dribble past the mound. Well, it's a base hit, 2 on and 1 out. Let's pause 10-second station ID on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Mets lead the Dodgers 4-0, bottom 3. Cole Hamels no-hits the Cubs. Tony Page follows the Yankees on WFAN and WFAN-FM, New York.
John Sterling, Susan Waldman at Target Field. And the Yankees are trailing 2-0, and Minnesota threatening again. They have first and second, 1 out. Here's Torrey Hunter. And the pitch is low. You can't put people everywhere. So they had Drew pulled over near second. You can understand that for a powerful right-hand hitter. And you couldn't have rolled the ball in a better spot.
No, he mishit that. He didn't mean to hit that thing.
No. But it worked out. The 1-0 is grounded foul, third base side. That'll count 1-1.
So now Sano has reached base in 15 of his first 17 major league games. He's got 4 multi-hit games in that. He started the season at Chattanooga. That's Double-A. 22 years old, as John told you last night. 6'4", 262. I wonder what will happen when he grows up.
Right, linebacker size.
Wow.
Now here is the 1-1. Swung on a high fly to right. Back goes Beltran to the track, to the wall, and she is gone. Torrey Hunter hitting the opposite way, hit it over the limestone facade into that little jury box over the high wall and right. It is a 3-run home run, and Minnesota is putting lumps on the Yankees. They have a 5-0 lead.
And to go along with what we were talking about, life begins at 40. Torrey Hunter's 16th home run. Didn't do too much. Ball didn't get in where CeCe wanted it. It stayed up and over the outer part of the plate, and he didn't try and pull it. He went the opposite way with it, just got into the first row where it overhangs the wall. Over the flowers. Wow.
Well, the Yankees field send me no flowers. A 3-run home run. Whoa. It's 5-0 Twins. And the pitch is low to Escobar. Realized a good job of hitting. The ball was away and he went with it, kind of hitting behind the ball. And he hit it over that high wall into the little jury box kind of thing that overhangs the wall. Pitch. There's a strike. For Hunter, his 16th home run. He has 53 RBIs, and the 4th home run he's hit off CeCe in his career. Now here's the 1-1. Escobar. It's a high fly down the right field line, out of play.
So for Torrey, that was his 207th home run in a Twins uniform, and he passed Kirby Puckett, who he tied the other night, and now he is for 208 home runs in Twins uniform. So he has passed Kirby Puckett, 6th all time in Twins uniform. I think it's kind of nice, John, that you start and finish your career in the same place. I really like that.
I think it's good. And also, he can still play.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He's not finishing. The pitch is Escobar's a ground ball to short. Ryan fields and throws him out. And they're 2-A. In other words, he's not just on the bench in his last year getting an occasional game or pinch hit. He's playing regularly, hitting 2nd or today 5th. And having a good year. Yeah,
you know, I was talking to some of the Twins before the game, and one of the coaches said to me, I was talking about Torrey Hunter, about how his influence on everybody, and he said, he's not a coach, you know, Susan. He still can really play. And that's the big difference. He's all those things, and he can still play.
Here's Shane Robinson. And the pitch is low. Well, look at the numbers. He has 16 homers and 53 RBIs, and it's very possible that he's going to hit over 20 home runs and drive in 80 runs. He's an outstanding defensive player. Yeah, he sure can still play. There's the 1-0. Robinson hits a dribbler back to CeCe, who throws to first for the final out of the inning. However, another big home run. Yankees well know home runs win you games. A 2-run homer by Hicks in the first, a 3-run home run by Hunter in the third. 3 runs, 3 hits in the third, and at the end of 3 innings of play, it is 5-0 Twins on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, we go to the 4th inning. The Yankees looking for their first hit, and they have a big comeback in store for them. They trail 5-0. A 2-run home run by Aaron Hicks in the first, and a 3-run dinger by Torrey Hunter in the third. Ellsbury takes a strike. Now Tommy Malone, as they say, a very rich man, has a 5-0 lead. Ellsbury popped to second his first time.
Scoreboard update brought to you by New York Presbyterian Official Hospital and the New York Yankees since 2008. Amazing things are happening here.
That pitch fouled off at the count 0-2.
We'll give you some finals. Detroit beat Boston 5-1. UNS Cespedes his 15th homer. Toronto beat Seattle 8-6. Robbie Cano, however, had his 10th homer of the year. 3-run shot in the 4th inning. Baltimore leading Tampa Bay still 4-0. That courtesy of a Chris Davis grand slam there in the bottom of the 7th. White Sox leading Cleveland 5-0. Top of the 3rd. They scored 5 runs in the first for Chris Sale. That should be enough for him, wouldn't you think?
Yes. Now here's the 0-2. And he swings and misses, strike 3.
Other games that are finished. San Francisco beat Oakland 2-1. Madison Bumgarner beat Chris Bassett. Philly beat the Cubs 5-0, but that's not the story. It was a Cole Hamels no-hitter. 2 walks, 13 strikeouts, 129 pitches. Jake Arrieta takes the loss. Ryan Howard had his 17th homer. A pretty nice farewell, if that's the end of Cole Hamels in a Philly uniform, huh? Walking out the door, throwing a no-hitter.
Young swings and misses. Tommy Malone is softballing, slow curves, changes. I thought it was a phenomenal statement game. You figure every scout in the world is there. Everyone's watching it in the baseball world. And he pitches a no-hitter. And here's the 0-1. Cut on a miss. And the last out of the game, they always call them circus catches. Odubel Herrera went too far, had to come back right near the center field wall, dove and made the catch. Wow.
How would have he felt if he had blown that? Mets scored 4 runs in the bottom of the first. The Dodgers 4-0 in the third.
And breaking ball inside, 1-2.
Atlanta and St. Louis, no score in the fourth. Everything else later. I guess Terry Collins had kind of a meeting last night and said, if you don't hit, you sit. So I guess people decided to go up and hit 4 runs in the first inning.
Now here's the 1-2. Strike 3 is called.
This is
2-away.
John, this is exactly what I remember him doing in Oakland when he pitched for Oakland. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Nothing over 89. He's spotting that fastball. That was right on the outside corner. It looked like it was going to be outside and came back in.
Well, 2-away. Here's A-Rod. Chris Young had a walk in the first inning, so there's no perfect game going, but a no-hitter is going. And the pitch to Alex is low, 1-0.
Now, this is the kind of pitcher that gives a lot of teams trouble when he's on, because you can't get ready for anything. You can't gear up.
1-0 is low, 2-0.
He's throwing 88, 89, hitting spots, changing planes.
Now the 2-0. There goes the deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone. In the second deck. What a shot by A-Rod. Oh, what a shot to left center. It's an A-bomb from A-Rod. The Yankees are on the board, their first hit, and they trail 5-1.
When you're that kind of a pitcher and throw the ball anywhere near the zone, that's what happens. It really gets shot. And as John said, second deck, tremendous hit by Alex. That's homer number 21 for Alex Rodriguez.
21 homers, 55 RBIs, and boy, that was a home run. When it was hit, it was out. And what a sound of that bat hitting the ball. He got some power. He's going to be 40 in a day or two, but boy, he's got power. Here's Teixeira. And he takes a backdoor breaking ball strike. It was a low inside fastball. And Malone won't throw him a fastball again. And boy, did he hit it. Did he hit it. 0-1. Swung on a fly ball to left. Now there is Robinson to make the catch and end the inning. The home run by A-Rod was the Ballantine blast of the game, brought to you by Ballantine IPA, America's original IPA. Taste a piece of craft beer history. For the Yanks, 1 run, 1 hit. And no one left. Now at the end of 3.5, 5-1 Minnesota on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, the A-Rod home run gets one of them back. Now the question is, can CeCe shut down the Twins? You know, it's tough enough to get 5 runs. 5-1 Minnesota. Bottom of the fourth, Kurt Suzuki takes a breaking ball strike. And Suzuki reached on an error by Drew. His first time.
Whoa. Really? 4, 5.
I mean, he has some power. We've seen a lot of them this year. Pitch is outside. They said the distance of the home run was 452. He's had longer home runs this year. Remember the one in Tampa, but that is some power. Now here's the 1-1. To Suzuki, and the pitch hit hard on the ground to third. Headley digs it out and throws to first, 1 away.
Fourth inning brought to you by Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K. You know, the thing that's so unfortunate about CeCe, and you really have to figure out what this is, when he makes a mistake, John, it leaves the park.
You know, I didn't
just
give his numbers,
singles.
and you're right. He has an outstanding strikeout to walk ratio, and they say, well, home runs don't hurt you if their base is empty, but tonight a 2-run home run and a 3-run home run, they've really hurt. He's given up 21, has CC. Phil Hughes, who pitched last night, has given up 23 to lead the league. Well, one away. Here's Danny Santana. And the pitch is grounded to short. Ryan throws out Santana 2 away. The fourth inning brought to you by Domino's Pizza, the pizza with the best toppings. Domino's, the official pizza of the New York Yankees radio network. A 2-way, here's Brian Dozier. He is 1 for 2. Two outs, no one on, bottom of the fourth. 5-1 Twins, and there's a breaking ball strike to Dozier. I didn't give the CC numbers. It's kind of late to do it, but Susan's right. When he gets hurt by the home run with men on. He makes people swing and miss. He has a great strikeout to walk ratio. Here's the 0-1, and the pitch miss. And you say, well, he probably gives up a lot of hits, which he does. But you know, it's how far did the hits go and how many men are on base? There is the 1-1. Pitch is inside. 2-1.
Tough way to pitch, or you can't make a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes.
Dozier digs back in. That'll be a 2-1 from CC. And the pitch is grounded to third. Foul. Headley got to it, but by the time he did, the ball went foul. So the count 2-2 on Dozier. The Twins lead at 5-1. All the runs on homers. A 2-run home run by Aaron Hicks in the first. A 3-run home run by Torrey Hunter last inning. And in the top of this inning, A-Rod homer for the Yanks. Well, that's where we are, 5-1. Now the 2-2 is inside. Fastball into the hands, but just inside. So 3-2. Well, I just looked at that again. Boy, did that look like a strike.
Well, it was inside. In the overhead, it was a few inches inside, but Murphy did a great job of framing it.
Now here is CC's payoff, and that one way inside. So Dozier, a 2-out walk. First walk given up by CC. And here is one of the homer hitters, Aaron Hicks.
Aaron Hicks spent most of the last few years up and down, a lot of time in AAA. Every time he'd come up, they tried him as leadoff hitter for a while because he's so fast and speedy. Struck out too much. Had some problems with Gardenhire and the coaching staff about whether he was going to bunt, try and learn to get on any way you can. And they sent him down to work on that.
And takes a fastball outside, 1-0.
He's still very young. I think he's just 23, right? So they had all these kids that were up and down very, very early. Sometimes it doesn't work for a while. Hicks has had a nice year so far for who he was. And it's easier for him. He's settled in now that Dozier has settled in the leadoff spot.
And Dozier does lead off first. And the pitch is popped high in the air. Down the right field line, foul, and it is going to go into the seats. Right over the sidewall. Teixeira was there, Drew was there, Beltran was there. And the ball was out of play. So the count 1-1.
Well, I think the only one who had a real shot at that was Beltran, who couldn't get over there fast enough. Hicks did start the year in Rochester, played 34 games, hit .333.
Hicks not only homered, he also singled, so he's 2 for 2 as he digs in, looking at the 1-1 from CeCe. Dozier leads off first, and the pitch is swung on into the air to center. Ellsbury coming on, makes the catch. That hit it off the end of the bat. In the inning, no runs, no hits, 1 left. Now at the end of 4 innings of play, it's 5-1 Minnesota on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Well, here we go to the 5th inning. Yankees are trailing 5-1, and a home run by A-Rod for the run. The Yankees have not been able to put anyone on base and put a little pressure on Malone. He's been very comfortable slow balling the Yankees to death. The pitch to Beltran is low and away.
Geico, saving people money on car insurance for over 75 years. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO or visit them at geico.com.
There's the 1-0. Caught on him, missed. Or foul tipped at home plate. Stayed at home plate. Till the count 1-1.
That got a piece of Kurt Suzuki. Knocked his mask off. Fouled it right back. Right back, hit him right in the face.
Now, if the ball does knock the mask loose, or in that case, ajar, imagine how it feels to the person who's wearing that mask. Wow. There'll be a 1-1 to Carlos, and the pitch outside 2-1. I would bet anything on the Yankee bench. The Yankees have 2 hitting coaches, and I would imagine they are saying stay back. The 2-1 there is a strike. In his case, you can catch up to the fastball. At least you can foul it away. Easier said than done, I guess.
Yes.
It'll be a 2-2. Beltran grounded out his first time and swings and hits it foul deep down the left field line, out of play.
I would think the difficulty with Tommy Malone, he's got very good control. He changed his eye level. There's no pitch pattern to what he's throwing. He hits spots.
And the 2-2. There's an off-speed pitch grounded to short. And Santana throws out Beltran, 1 away.
I really fooled on that. That was not a strike. Had to reach over the plate, and all he could do was ground it.
Well, here is Headley with 1 out. The left-hander deal swung on, hit in the air to left field. Shane Robinson is right there to make the catch. I mean, the Yankees are going down. Forget the A-Rod home run. That's a tremendous home run. They're going down easily. They're not hitting the ball hard either. And even though they won't say it for public consumption after the game, we should be able to hit that guy.
Well, it's what do they say? A very comfortable 0 for 4.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he should be pitching like this. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Hasn't hit 90. I don't think he's hit 90 all night.
Well, he's pitching a one-hitter. So, I'd say the Yankees have no gripe.
No.
Here's Murphy, who grounded to short his first time. He's got 3 infielders on the left side. And he grounds the foul off his foot at home plate. Today, if the Yankees lose, they will lose ground because Toronto has won and Baltimore is about to win. They're winning 5-1 in the ninth. Susan will have a scoreboard for you soon. The pitch is outside. I don't think that's a big thing. I mean, you win, you're going to lose. But the Yankees, sometimes you get on a road trip and you start losing and it snowballs. And the Yankees can't afford that on this 10-game trip. The pitch is low, and wherever they go, someone's fighting for something. I mean, Minnesota, we know, already is a wild card. They're fighting for it. And Texas trying to get involved in that.
Texas 3 games under 500. They're 7.5 back of the Angels.
The pitch is low, 3-1 to Murph.
And the White Sox, they're 6 games under 500, 12.5 back of Kansas City. They've started to play better, though. They won again today. They've now won 3 in a row. Is that game over? No, they're leading 6-0.
Pitch is foul down the right field line, out of play. 3-2.
And one of the Chicago scouts that's here that we were talking to said, you know who's really started to hit? Melky. All of a sudden, like he woke up.
Do you know, I use that as a note. You know, he's a good hitter, not a great hitter. And Corey Kluber is the Cy Young. He's hitting .474 against Kluber.
Wow.
Now, things you can't explain in baseball, so don't even try. Here comes the payoff. Hit on the ground to first, and a diving stop. Flips to Malone in time. Beautiful play. It wasn't hit hard enough to go down the line, but Plouffe made a terrific play and made a backhand flip, and Malone got there just ahead of Murphy. So the Yankees down 1-2-3. They're being one hit through 5 innings. At the end of 4.5, 5-1 Twins on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. John Sterling, Susan Wellman back at Target Field, bottom of the 5th, 5-1 Twins. And Trevor Plouffe hits a ground ball to short. Ryan fields and throws him out on one pitch. The 5th inning, it's post time, and we bring in Dan Martin from the New York Post. The New York Post brings you the best sports in town every day. Well, let's get Dan's take on that unbelievable statement game by Cole Hamels today. I mean, you know, every scout is there. Is he going to be traded? Probably. And what does he do? He pitches a no-hitter.
If you needed any more proof of what he's capable of doing, you just got it. I was a little surprised just watching the end of that game that they let him throw 129 pitches.
But then again, Cole Hamels would have to be taken off the mound kicking and screaming. Backdoor breaking ball to Sano is a strike.
But pretty soon that won't be Philadelphia's problem.
Right.
I mean, obviously, you know, a few pitches here or there is not going to make a difference for Cole Hamels. But when I turned the game on and it was the 7th inning and he was at 102, I really did not think they would let him finish it. But
there have been managers who have taken pitches out. That has happened. Here's the 0-1. And the pitch low and the count 1.
Well, especially in that kind of situation, you know, where
if they've got some kind of deal, there's some general manager screaming.
Even if they don't have a deal, they want to make a deal. What's the upside for the Phillies? But you know, it worked out well, and everybody's happy. And now who knows what they're going to get for him?
Well, here's the 1-1 hit on the ground to third. Headley snags it and throws across 2-away.
Meanwhile, more closer to home, this is CC Sabathia that we've seen pretty much all year. And you know what? When you get off to you're down 5-0, it's kind of tough.
It's very tough. I mean, the home run has just killed him. Even the outs he's gotten tonight have been hard. So tonight has not been a good night. They were looking for him to build on what he's done the last couple of times out, but he just cannot figure out how to get right-handers out. And the Twins are obviously aware of that and put nine of them in the lineup.
There's Torrey Hunter, who is homered. And he swings and misses at a breaking ball, 0-1. And you know, on the other side, you have a guy who is softballing the Yankees to death outside of A-Rod's blast. The Yankees don't have a hit.
No, so it's been a rough night, and certainly they left the Bronx flying high, and the first game and a half here have not gone well.
I think that's put it mildly. The pitch is inside, and the count 1-1 on Hunter.
Well, one of the things about this team is CeCe had a great game, and it was Seattle, and they don't hit a lick. This team's pretty good, and they've got a lot of experience, and they've got kids that really can slug.
1-1 low to Hunter.
This isn't one of those kids.
No, but he just. Well, they said that, but they have experienced guys, and
absolutely.
Torrey is.
And at this point, I think anyone who swings the bat right-handed is capable of doing great things against CeCe.
Well, he had said that he can't get the ball in enough on right-handers where it's a strike, where it won't be hit.
The 2-1 foul back, 2-2.
Is that what you see? Because he has said that. I don't know what the solution is.
No one knows what the solution is, other than to just push him back until they face a left-handed heavy lineup. They've done it, when they've timed the knee drainings and skipping starts, but you obviously can't do that very often. They use the all-star break to their advantage with that as well.
2-2 is low 3-2 on Torrey Hunter. 2 outs, no one on. Here in the bottom of the fifth, 5-1 Twins. We're talking with Dan Martin of the New York Post. Hear any rumors, Dan?
I hear plenty of rumors, but...
Well, are you getting the feeling that Brian Cashman is he sees the landscape of the American League East and thinks this is good enough?
3-2 is cut on a miss. The pitch down and in.
I'll think about it tonight and let you know tomorrow.
Thank you, Dan. 3 up, 3 down. But really, look at this game. CeCe's been bothered by the 2 home runs, big home runs. 3 up, 3 down at the end of 5. 5-1 Twins on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
FM WFAN New York.
Now to the 6th, and the Yankees are trailing by 4, and to be totally honest, must say the sands of time are slipping away from the Yankees. They only got 4 more innings. They're down by 4. Here's Brendan Ryan to lead it off in the top of the 6th. And Malone deals, and there is a strike. If this guy pitches this way, he's pitching a one-hitter. He pitches this way, it will reinforce the old line. You don't have to go 90 to win. And here's the 0-1. Line foul down the left field line. Ryan just missed a double. 0-2. Ryan fly to center his first time.
Playing pretty economically. That was his 62nd pitch.
Oh, he's getting the Yankees out quickly.
Very quickly.
He's gotten everyone out.
Time.
One walk.
Saying economical.
And the walk was a race, not a double play. And the pitch to Brendan is low. It's a final in Tampa. Baltimore wins. So Toronto and Baltimore have won. Boston's lost, but I mean, right now Boston's out of the landscape in the East. And here's the 1-2, grounded foul, off-speed pitch. Luckily he got a piece. He was fooled by it, jumped over the plate, got a piece.
Scoreboard update brought to you by Bigelow Family Tea Blenders since 1945. That's okay. I'll do it again. Bigelow Tea wants me to do it many times.
Okay. Here's the 1-2. And the fastball inside. That was 88. And the count 2-2.
Yoenis Cespedes hit his 15th homer, and Detroit beat Boston 5-1. Alfredo Simon beat Stephen Wright. Toronto over Seattle 8-6.
Here's the 2-2, fouled off. You think Stephen Wright is tired of packing his bags? He must have been up and down 5 times.
I think he's gone again. I think they've sent him down again after today's game, or they've just brought him up to pitch and is going down. Like, talk about revolving doors. It's everywhere. It is absolutely everywhere.
That'll be a 2-2 to Ryan. Man, he swings and misses. Change away, off the plate and down. So 1 down.
Baltimore beat Tampa 5-1. Chris Davis a grand slam. Kurt Casale his 3rd homer, a solo shot. Miguel Gonzalez beat Erasmo Ramirez. White Sox still leading Cleveland now 6-0. Bottom of the 5th. Chris Sale knocked out Carlos Carrasco after 4 innings, giving up 6 runs on 7 hits. And I'll ask you again, John Sterling, do you think 6 runs is enough for Chris Sale?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought you'd say. Carlos Sanchez had his first homer for Chicago.
Stephen Drew takes a pitch outside, 1-0.
Scott Feldman and Danny Duffy dealing zeros, top of the 6th. Houston and Kansas City, they're in Kansas City, no score. And Texas at the Angels a little later, Giovanni Gallardo against Hector Santiago.
There is a strike to Stephen.
San Francisco beat Oakland 2-1. It was Philly over the Cubs 5-0. That's not the story. Cole Hamels hit through a no-hitter, 129 pitches.
1-1. Pitch low outside, 2-1.
Washington at Pittsburgh there in the bottom of the fifth. Washington leading the Pirates 4-0. Mets now leading the Dodgers 6-1, top of the fifth. Jimmy Rollins hit his 11th homer. Kelly Johnson hit his first homer as a Met, his 10th of the year.
Ground ball to first. Plouffe will feed Malone for the 3-1, and they're 2 away.
Bottom of the sixth is St. Louis, Atlanta, and the Cards. No score. Shelby Miller against Carlos Martinez. Top of the second in Colorado. It's Johnny Cueto against Chris Rusin as Cincinnati is in. Bottom of the first, Milwaukee and Arizona. No score. Miami and San Diego. No score. Oh, they haven't started yet. That's why there's no score. You know, I was talking before about Terry Collins reading something, and Terry Collins was sort of threatening his hitters. You either hit or you sit. I think it probably makes a difference that Zach Lee was pitching today, a raw rookie. Let's see if it works, as we were talking about before, tomorrow when Zach Greinke comes in. See if it's the same thing.
Very tough to order people to hit if they can't. Here's Ellsbury, and the pitch grounded foul. Speaking of not hitting, I don't want to take anything away from Tommy Malone. I mean, he's pitching his heart out. The Yankees have had 1 walk, Chris Young in the first, and 1 hit, A-Rod's tape measure. That's it. That's all. 1 walk and 1 hit. Now, how you can possibly win that way?
Well, he's 5-2, ERA of 3.38. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Pitch is foul back. As I say, you don't have to throw 90 to win. There have been a lot of guys who haven't thrown 90 and have won, I mean.
Well, he's very sneaky fastball. Doesn't hit 90. Change of speeds. We've said it.
It'll be an 0-2. Yankees had a great one for years, helping win 5 straight championships. And Eddie Lopat, steady Eddie. The pitch, and it's grounded to the left side. Fielded by Santana, throws to first in time. You can't make out quicker and easier than the Yankees are making out. There aren't any line drives. So 3 up and 3 down, end of 5.5, 5-1 Twins on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Tri-State Audi dealers invite you to experience the uncompromised performance of the Audi A3 today, or visit anytime at TriStateAudiDealers.com. To the bottom of the 6th we go. The Twins have a 5-1 lead. And Sabathia deals to Eduardo Escobar, breaking ball strike. Sabathia has given up 2 huge hits, a 2-run home run to Hicks in the first, a 3-run home run to Torrey Hunter in the third. And those are the 5 runs. And the 0-1 swung on and line to center field. Ellsbury makes a running catch. Ball stayed up, and Ellsbury got a good jump and ran and caught the ball in right center, shallow right center, 1 away.
And not a lot that Ellsbury doesn't get to. He backhanded it, took one really quick step at the end, stretched out and got it relatively easily.
No one down. Here is Shane Robinson. It was 1 for 2 and takes a strike. You know, the thing is, Susan, this could be a game where Nick Goody makes his major league debut.
Could be. Nick Goody brought up. He's gone up the ranks fast. He started in Trenton. Did well both at Trenton and Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And if he makes his major league debut,
the 0-1 is outside.
He'll be the 12th person to make their major league debut as a Yankee this year. That's a lot. That really is a lot.
Well, we see him come up and go down.
Yep.
A lot.
Get a fresh arm. They're really using this 40-man roster.
1-1 fouled away. You know, it's true what you say that about all teams are doing it, and it makes spring training a little bit better, because when you're looking at these kids play, you know, from the 5th inning on, the kids come in. A lot of those kids are going to be pitching or playing at some point during the year. That'll be a 1-2. Shane Robinson, a smallish right-hand hitter, and hits one hard on one hop to short. Ryan fields and throws, and there are 2 away.
Shane Robinson, a speedy kind of 4th outfield. He's an actual center fielder, and he's a really good defensive outfielder. When you're a center fielder, you can play anywhere out there. I did talk to Nick Goody about that, and he said the difference. He said he was in spring training, and the difference between walking into a major league clubhouse for the first time when you know everybody, and they were all very welcoming, and he knew there were friendly faces.
Well, there are two. Here's Kurt Suzuki. And the pitch outside, 1-0. Sabathia, we told you the 2 home runs good for the 5 runs. He's walked 1, he has struck out 3, and he has thrown 82 pitches. Painting the Corner brought to you by CertaPro Painters, because painting is personal. Make that 85 pitches. And the breaking ball's in the dirt. The count 2-1. So you figure if CC gets Robinson, he can pitch the 7th, and that would limit the bullpen to going 2 innings, and that's why they might, if they're down 5-1, they could pitch Nick Goody. Chris Capuano got really murdered last night, and if you're going to lose, you might as well stay away from the big people in the bullpen. And there is the 2-0 pitch outside, 3-0 on Robinson.
Starting to wander around a little bit in the Twins bullpen. Fans, come on out to the stadium Wednesday, August 5th, when the Yanks play the Red Sox. First 18,000 guests in attendance receive a Yankees portable powered charger courtesy of Delta.
The 3-0 is a strike.
For tickets, log on to Yankees.com.
Here is CC's 3-1, and it is inside. So Suzuki draws a 2-out walk. And here is the 9th hitter, the shortstop Danny Santana. The second walk given up by CC.
Suzuki's is a very good catcher, but he's never been much of a hitter. Kind of a strange thing when he was with Oakland. Didn't have a high average at all, but did hit home runs. And when Bob Guerin was manager of Oakland, Bob being an ex-catcher, he loved Suzuki. Suzuki wanted to play every day, never wanted a day off.
A pitch hit him. It was a low fastball in, and I think it hit him on the foot. Suzuki gets up and kind of walks toward first base. Not Suzuki, Santana. So 2 on and 2 out.
It hit him right on the toe, right on the front foot, right on, looks like the little toe, right there. Oh, that doesn't feel good.
You think?
No. Oh. Adam Warren is starting to warm now for the Yankees as Larry Rothschild goes out and talks to CC Sabathia. He's right at 90 pitches now. That also is something, John. Even if he's pitching well, 90 pitches, you're in the 6th inning.
One thing I would say, if you pitch well, let's say he had given up 1 or 2 runs, and then 90 pitches in 6 innings, 15 pitches an inning, it's okay because the Yankee bullpen is so deep and so good. But obviously, he's given up 2 big home runs. So here is Brian Dozier, who has singled, popped out, and walked with 2 on and 2 out. Yankees are trailing 5-1, so this is, kind of an important batter. And CC deals low and away in the count 1-0.
Trying to keep it on the outside corner so that Dozier can't pull it into the stands.
Here is the 1-0. Caught on a miss. There's a breaking ball down and in, and the count 1-1. Suzuki at second and Santana at first with 2 men out. Bottom of the 6th, the Twins have a 5-1 lead. Pitch low, the count 2-1.
Yeah, it's interesting, John, because he had a great breaking ball and then tried to throw the same pitch and really missed with it. Didn't have a big break, didn't have any depth on it. It's almost as if he can't repeat those pitches.
Runners lead, and CC deals. Grounded foul outside of third. You know, you mentioned about Warren warming up. He hasn't had a very good relief appearance yet, and they need him. He'd be the right-hander sandwiched between Wilson and Shreve to set up the 2 big guys at the end. So that may be one reason why Warren is warming up.
I agree with you. I think that is a big reason for that, and I've talked to him about that, and he's not totally comfortable. And you know, when you've been doing something for so long, it's hard to get back the mindset and the way to warm up so that you're totally ready.
Here's the 2-2. Plays off a high fastball, 3-2.
Which might be, John, why he's warming up early. And I'd love it if CC could get out of this inning, and then maybe he can come in the 7th with a fresh inning.
Well, the runners will be going. Suzuki from second, Santana from first. It'll be a 3-2 to Dozier with 2 outs. And the payoff is low, ball 4. They're loaded up. So a 2-out rally, if that's what you call it. A walk, hit batsman, and a walk. And they're loaded up with 2 out. Here is one of the homer hitters, Aaron Hicks. Switch it to batting right. That's all for CC.
And Joe Girardi had gone on the phone to see if Warren was ready, and as soon as he hung up the phone, he bolted out of the dugout. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by your Tri-State pitcher is Adam Warren, and as John said, he has struggled since he's gone into the relief role and has not. He said he just hasn't been comfortable yet with warming up, with coming in situations. Well, so he comes in with the bases loaded. And this is some situation.
Well, if the Yankees are to make a run at Minnesota, I'd say Warren has to get this hitter out. Aaron Hicks turns around about from the left side. Bases loaded, 2 out in the 6th. 5-1 Twins, and the breaking ball is there for a strike. I'll give you CC's responsible for all 3 runners, so I'll wait to give you his line. The Yankees trail 5-1, bottom of the 6th, 2 outs, and the bags are jammed. And Warren deals way inside, 1-1 on Hicks. In the first inning, Dozier singled, and Hicks hit a bomb into the bullpens in left center. And Minnesota jumped out to as fast a 2-run lead as you can jump out. Here the bases are loaded with 2 men out in the bottom of the 6th. It'll be a 1-1 to Hicks, batting left-handed, and the pitch way high. I gather it was a breaking ball that bite, but I really don't know. The ball just ballooned upstairs, 2-1.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was his breaking ball and did not have any break in it at all. And that is the pitch that he's had trouble with since he's gone to the bullpen. You can always throw that fastball in, but you just can't set up the breaking pitches. And he's been behind every batter since he made that switch.
Well, here's the 2-1. And the pitch low, 3-1. Suzuki at third, Santana at second, and Dozier at first, and ball 4 will force in a run.
And another 85-mile-an-hour breaking pitch, and he's not hitting the spots. Very tough. This is the third outing in a row that this has happened.
So Hicks 1 foot out now. And digs back in. And it'll be a 3-1 with the bases loaded and 2 out here in the 6th. The pitch swung on and popped foul third base side. It was fastball. And the count 3-2.
Well, the fastball he's able to locate. That has really been consistently good. It's just those breaking pitches. You can't throw a fastball all the time. That was 93, as John said.
Well, the runners, as they say, will be going. You can start the merry-go-round. Suzuki from third, Santana from second, and Dozier from first. And in this ball game, here is a big pitch. Now Hicks, tired of waiting, backs out, and John Ryan Murphy trots out to the mound.
Now here's your dilemma. Do you throw a fastball where you know you can get it over the plate, or do you throw a breaking ball which may or may not get over the plate?
Pitch is strike 3 called down the outside corner. Warren threw a breaking ball, kind of a backdoor slider, I guess. So he just gets out of the jam. No runs, no hits, 3 left. And now at the end of 6 innings of play, 5-1 Minnesota on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, Paul Molitor got thrown out of the game, and Susan and I were talking about it. I don't know if the pitch was called a strike by Jeff Nelson or if they called a swing. It looked like he tried to stop his swing. Anyway, Molitor, let's see, I guess maybe the swing. The pitch was low. Anyway, Molitor came out and got the old heave-ho, only the second time this year for Paul.
7th inning is sponsored by Tri-State Ford. Ford vehicles have it all. Great design, intelligent features, all at a price that won't break the bank. See why the total package at your local Ford dealers now, or visit us at tristateford.com. And we saw it again. It didn't look like he swung. It didn't look like he swung to me, and the pitch was not a strike.
The pitch is foul back. So I figure it must have been a swing, because that can't be called a strike, right?
Right. Well, that's what I would think. And you can't argue balls and strikes, but Molitor, this might have been building.
Chris Young walked and struck out, and the 0-1 is inside. Meanwhile, let's not gloss over the fact that Tommy Malone is pitching a one-hitter, and the Yankees have had 2 men on base, 1 walk to Young, and the home run blast by A-Rod. That's it. 1-1 is inside, 2-1. Malone, pitch count wise, great shape. He's thrown 77 and has a 5-1 lead in the 7th. There's the 2-1. Low inside, 3-1.
I told you that Tommy Malone's ERA was 3.38 coming in. I always look to see if there's a game where it might have ballooned up, and it was the last game. He only went 2 2/3, gave up 5 runs to Oakland.
3-1 line, base hit off the glove of Escobar, and it caroms down the left field line. So Young heads towards second, and the throw is late. So there's a double. It was a bullet, but it went off the glove of Escobar. So right now I'm scoring at a double.
Well, too much in the middle of the plate for Malone off the end, and he really should have had that. It was off the top. It was almost in the webbing of the glove and bounced out.
Well, they haven't ruled it.
I would guess it would be a hit. Yeah, they gave him a 2-base hit.
So Young doubles to left. And here is A-Rod, who's counted for the Yankee run with a tremendous home run. A 452-foot blast to left center in the second deck.
52 Ryan Dunson, 65 Trevor Mayer, Dunson and Mayer.
And the left-hander deals. Low outside, 1-0.
And lefty Brian Dunsing is up, and righty Trevor May are up in the Minnesota bullpen. And, you know, the Yankees do score runs in bunches, and that's probably why Molitor was arguing. You know, it's a difference. He's got the bases loaded. It's a difference if it's ball 4.
1-0, strike. I couldn't agree with you more. You know, that's a run. And, you know, everyone believes in tacking on runs. I mean, that's a run. And, you know, you can't hit a 5-run home run. Not only is it a run, but then you send up another hitter with the bases loaded, 2 out. Well, it'll be a 1-1 to A-Rod as Chris Young leads off second. And the pitch swung on and hit in the air to deep left center. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. And the Yanks have made it a ball game. Alex Rodriguez hits a 2-run home run into the bullpens in left center. It's an A-bomb from A-Rod, his second home run of the game, and the Yankees now trail 5-3.
And that's what you have with Alex Rodriguez. Somebody makes a mistake, it's going someplace where the other team doesn't want it to go. And here comes Neil Allen out to the pitching coach out to talk to Tommy Malone. And John, we just saw an example of what that call third strike just made. The difference already in this game.
For Alex, his 22nd home run, he now has 57 RBIs. And Susan's absolutely right. That was a big pitch. Well, we called it a big pitch before. Because that would have made it 6-1. And now the Yankees are trailing just 5-3. You're down by 2 runs. That's the old bloop and a blast. So here is Teixeira, who is 0 for 2. Not only has A-Rod hit 2 home runs, but one was longer than the other. They were both really hit. Now here is Tex, and he hits a fly ball to center. And back goes Hicks, and it's over his head, off his glove to the center field wall. Teixeira goes to second. Hicks did not start to go back right away. Then he went back, reached up, and couldn't make the catch. So Teixeira is on with a long double. And let's put it this way. Even if the Yankees make the right kind of outs and score the run, it becomes a 5-4 game.
And everything is up, and that pitch was up. And here comes Joe Vavra, who is the bench coach, and they will go to Brian Dunsing. Terrible play by Aaron Hicks. Just a very bad play, and he knows it. He's got his head down in the outfield. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by 877 Cars for Kids. Dunsing, his new pitcher is Brian Dunsing. He pitches a lot. He has been in 33 games, 24 2/3 innings, 22 hits, 14 earned runs, 11 walks, 14 strikeouts. Batter's hitting .247 off of the 32-year-old lefty.
Now here's Beltran with Teixeira off at second, no one out, and the pitch a strike on the outside corner. Dunsing pitched in last night's game, and I'll give you the lines on the pitches, but there's one reason why Dunsing is in. On the Yankee bench, they have McCann, Gardner, Jones, and Didi. So they have 4 left-hand hitters on the bench, and the Yankees are a much better lefty-hitting team than righty-hitting team. Beltran takes a breaking ball, though. And so the Twins are trying to keep those lefty hitters on the bench. I don't blame them. I would do the same thing. Beltran has grounded out twice. Anyway, that's a big run at second. This is only the 7th inning. If the Yankees can score Teixeira, there's no one out. They would then trail by only 1 run. Here is the 1-1 to Carlos. And the pitch high in the count, 2-1. And also now you're only going to see the big guys in the Yankee bullpen. They have a chance in this game.
Dunsing, as I said, 32 out of the University of Nebraska. Yes, he was a teammate of both Alex Gordon and Jabba Chamberlain.
That'll be a 2-1 to Beltran. Teixeira off second with no one out. And the pitch is swung on and hit in the air to center. Teixeira to tag. Back goes Hicks. He makes the catch. Teixeira tags, and the throw is offline. Teixeira is in safely. So Beltran got the job done. He moved the runner up, and let's see if Headley can get the runner in.
And that pitching change was also brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Not a good throw at all by Aaron Hicks. You know, if that throw is online, he's got a shot to get him.
He does. Well, he was in pretty deep center. Teixeira should have tagged, and he did. But here's the line on Sabathia: 5 2/3, 5 runs, 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 1 hit batsman. Infield is back, and Headley lines one towards center field. On the run is Hicks, and he makes the catch. Here comes Teixeira. Here comes the throw, and he is safe. Ball gets away anyway from Suzuki. So the Yankees got Teixeira in, who had to do a lot of running. A sac fly for Headley and an RBI, and the Yankees down 5-1 going in the inning, now trail 5-4.
I mean, it was almost as if Paul Molitor had a premonition of what was going to happen, didn't he?
Yes.
Like arguing that. What a different game if it's ball 4 and you score 1 run and you're still batting. What a difference.
Now here's the line on Malone. He goes 6 innings plus, 4 runs, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, and the Yankees trail by 1. And here's John Ryan Murphy for Headley, his 36th RBI. Murph is 0 for 2 and hits a soft liner to Dozier at second. Stop playing on the left side of the infield. However, the Yankees get 3 runs, a 2-run home run by A-Rod and a sac fly by Headley. So the Yankees get 3 runs on 3 hits, and at the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's 5-4 Minnesota on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Well, the new pitcher is Trevor May, 6'5", big guy, 218. He has been the starter. He's been a starter all year. This is his 6th relief appearance. He went back to the bullpen when Santana was reinstated from his suspension. So he's got 5 relief outings since moving to the bullpen. 7 innings, allowed 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 walk, and struck out 4. So he has not had a great return to the bullpen.
Well, the Yankees have to use their lefties. One problem is they don't have 2 infielders on the bench. They only have 1. If they used both of their lefties, they'd have to figure out a different configuration. Whatever I just said. Anyway, here is one of them, Gardner, who is the perfect leadoff hitter, and here he is hitting leadoff in the inning, hitting for Ryan, and then we'll see what they do with Drew. They know, the Yankees, that Perkins is going to pitch the ninth, a lefty, a really good one. So you might as well strike while the old iron is hot.
Speed Report is brought to you by Old Dominion Household Services, self-moving services that deliver. Get a quote at odmove.com for your next move. No stolen bases tonight.
4,660. 40660. That is a sellout for 50.
Well, here is Brett Gardner. The crowd is over 40,000, a sellout. That's about what they hold. And the pitch to Gardy is low. The Twins have a 5-4 lead. The Yankees will send up Gardner. Now, Drew is on deck, who may have to hit. And then Ellsbury, so all lefties. And there is a strike. One thing, if Perkins comes in and faces A-Rod, Tex, and Beltran, they all will obviously hit right-handed against the lefty Perkins. But we're inning ahead of ourselves. There is the 1-1. Breaking ball missed inside. And the count 2-1.
Scoreboard update brought to you by Astoria Bank. Give you a few scores that involve the Yankees. Detroit beat Boston 5-1. Toronto over Seattle 8-6. And Baltimore has defeated Tampa Bay 5-1. Of the games that Yankees will be watching.
2-1, swung on, foul, third base out of play. 2-2 on Gardner. Gardner, Drew, and Ellsbury, the 3 scheduled hitters. Here in the 8th, Yankees trailing 5-4. Now, the right-hander's 2-2 is inside. 40,000 umpires thought it was a strike, I'll tell you that. But the count 3-2 on Gardner.
It's nowhere near a strike. It's really nowhere near a strike.
Twins fans don't care about
Oh,
that.
I know, and they don't have the little monitor right next to them like I do.
Now here's the payoff to Gardner. Hit on the ground to second. Dozier throws out Brett, one away.
Well, he throws very hard. That wasn't a strike either. It was almost a high. It was a low fastball in outside. He tried to pull it and just turned his wrist over. That was 96 miles an hour. So he throws hard.
And the 8th inning brought to you by Kubota Tractors. You can find them at S&L Equipment and Westchester Tractors. You know, Susan, when he came in, I've never seen Trevor May before, but he comes in the 8th inning, I guarantee he throws hard.
Well, he was a starter. He's a starter, though.
Prerequisite. So one away, and here is Drew, who is 0 for 2.
They're looking for one, though.
And he hits a high fly to center. Hicks cruising toward left center to make the catch. 2 away.
That's one of the things that Trevor May is now an 8th inning guy, throws hard. Yes, he does. They're looking for a power reliever, a power righty, to go in front of Glenn Perkins, who does not throw hard.
Boy, the Mets are going nuts tonight.
What, more runs?
13 to 2.
See, hit or sit.
See, it was magic. He just had to say the magic words. Here is Ellsbury with 2 outs. The Yankees trailing 5-4 here in the top of the 8th. And 2 outs, no one on. And the pitch is high. I think it was a breaking ball, but no bite. 1-0 to Ellsbury.
68
Dylan Betances has gotten up. Trevor May came out of the Phillies organization.
1-0, line toward the gap in right center is a base hit. It's cut off by Hicks. So Ellsbury is held to a long single. And that brings up Chris Young, and he's being called back. So let's see if McCann comes up or Garrett Jones. A-Rod's come out on deck. So there's the tying run.
There's McCann.
So you send up your best. And here is Brian McCann. So he'll hit for Young.
And Glenn Perkins has started throwing.
So here's Brian McCann. One other thing, let's see if Ellsbury can get a jump. May is a big guy. I've never seen him pitch, so I don't know if he takes a long time to the plate or not, but he is a tall fella. And obviously Ellsbury gets a second, then a base hit ties the game. So here is Brian Mack with 2 outs and the tying run at first. And of course Brian is the go-ahead run. And the right-hander deals breaking ball strike. Slow breaking ball. You can understand McCann going up. You figure this big guy's going to throw a heater. And out comes a slow breaking ball.
77 miles an hour to go along with that 96 mile an hour fastball.
That'll be an 0-1. Ellsbury leads. And the pitch high and the count 1-1. Young was 1 for 2, had a double, scored a run, 1 for 2 and a walk while he was in. And a throw to first. Ellsbury is back. They don't overshift. Dozier, the second baseman, is way out in right field. 2 outs. There's no double play in order. But the shortstop, Santana, plays on the third base side of second, about 3 steps over toward third. Nothing unusual. And May steps off.
Jason Shreve has now started throwing again. I was looking at some of the stats. Glenn Perkins been in 40 games, ERA of 1.37, 29 saves, hasn't blown any.
I guess there's always a first time.
Well, they could go ahead right here, then it wouldn't have to worry about it.
Here's the 1-1 to McCann, and it's grounded foul. Another off-speed pitch. Prime is way ahead. And now the count 1-2. Torrey Hunter, the right fielder, plays just a few steps on the warning track, right in front of that limestone jury box in right field. That's where Hunter hit his 3-run home run. In fact, they were all deep. They were in no doubles defense. And here's the 1-2. First to throw to first, and he throws it away. What a break. It goes to the stands. Jacoby goes to second and holds on, because he can score from second as well as third. He wouldn't have made it anyway. What a break. Yeah, you know what they say. You make them throw the ball, at some point they'll throw it away.
And that's something I understand, that you want to keep Ellsbury from stealing second, because then a base hit scores that run anyway. But there's 2 outs. And I say this 1,000 times. The only one that can hurt you is the guy with the bat in his hand.
May, it's an error on one, obviously. May threw the ball on the outfield side. So you have the runner leading off, and Plouffe had to reach across the runner. He never got there. It was not his fault. So the only problem with this at-bat is that McCann has 2 strikes. He only has 1 strike left. It'll be a 1-2 from May. Ellsbury off second with the tying run. And the pitch is caught on and missed on an off-speed pitch. No runs, 1 hit. And 1 left. And now at the end of 7.5. 5-4 Minnesota on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Well, we got a couple of different substitutions here. Brett Gardner goes to left field, and Didi Gregorius is now the shortstop. Adam Warren still on the mound. Your local Tri-State Audi dealers invite you to experience the uncompromised performance of the Audi A3 today, or visit anytime at TriStateAudiDealers.com.
And 10-second station ID on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Michael Conforto 4 for 4. Mets lead the Dodgers 13-2, bottom 7. Tony Page follows the Yankees on WFAN New York.
John Sterling, Susan Waldman back at Target Field before a sellout crowd of over 40,000. Minnesota has a 5-4 lead. Eduardo Escobar takes a strike, and the fastball inside from Warren. Obviously, Warren's job, hold him at 5 and see what the Yankees can do against the all-star closer of Minnesota, lefty Glenn Perkins. Five-4 Twins, bottom of the 8th, and the 1-1 is foul back. And if you look ahead in the 9th inning against the lefty Perkins, the Yankees will send up all right-hand hitters. The first 5 guys: A-Rod, Teixeira, Beltran, Headley, and Murphy. 5 straight righties before Gardner in the 8th spot. The Yankees get to Gardner, they'll have a rally going. So it'll be a 1-2 to Escobar, switch hitter now batting left, and Warren deals low inside. And the count 2-2.
Tonight's game attendance is 40,660. It is a sellout. Game attendance brought to you by New York Community Bank and the NYCB family of banks.
Escobar is 0 for 3. And the 2-2 struck him out swinging. And there's 1 away, second strikeout for Warren. We are coming to you live from the Sunoco broadcast booth. The Sunoco Free Fuel 5000. Get the decal, get spotted, and win.
Well, Joe had said that, and Adam Warren's only thrown 21 pitches. Joe had said that Adam Warren, because he was built up as a starter, could probably throw 50 pitches if need be.
Oh, I'm sure you're right. There's Shane Robinson, a right-hand hitter, and there's a strike.
I always, we don't get to talk a lot about the closer from Minnesota, Glenn Perkins. I always admired him. He's from here, went to the University of Minnesota. It took him a while, and they offered him a long-term extension years ago, and everybody thought he was crazy to take it.
0-1 is looped right to Teixeira, 2 away.
And he said, I want to be home. I like it here. This is enough. And he's been making $4 million for the last 3 years instead of maybe 10 or 11 or 12. But he's home. He said, I want to go hunting and fishing with my kids. And it's home for me.
I couldn't agree more. He's making plenty of money to live a great life. He doesn't have the ego where he has to make more than Joe and Fred. So I think that's terrific. I really do. My dad told me a long time ago, if you like what you're making, don't worry what the other guy is making.
Right.
And I really believe that. Well, 2-way, here is Kurt Suzuki, the righty hitting catcher. And Warren deals strike. And, you know, I think more players in all sports ought to do that. If you really love it here and you're making good enough money so you're going to live great the rest of your life, what's the difference? Really, what's the difference?
So for the past 2 years, 14 and 15, for example, he's made $4 million a year. I know he could make a lot more someplace else. How much do you need?
Now here's the 0-1. Grounded foul. Anyway, his career flourished when he became a closer. And he's an all-star. And he'll be pitching the ninth.
Yeah, I just always liked that. And he's a hero here. He's home. He grew up here. Went to the University of Minnesota.
Which is located right downtown in Minneapolis.
Across the river.
Now here's the 0-2 to Suzuki. This is a good outing for Warren.
Yes.
And he deals low. And that's very important because Warren is the righty mixed in with Shreve and Wilson. And then you have Betances and Miller. And that bullpen will rival any, including Kansas City, in baseball. It's a great bullpen.
This is the first time, John, where he's looked comfortable. He isn't taking a long time. He's throwing strikes. He's ahead of hitters. It's the first time since he's been back in the pen.
Now here's the 1-2. Swung on and line to left center field. It's a base hit. It's cut off by Gardner in the gap. And he holds Suzuki at first, and that will bring up the shortstop, Danny Santana. Santana 0 for 2 has been hit by a pitch. Switch hitter now batting left, and there's a breaking ball that missed low outside. I guess Minnesota expects a win because on the top of the side wall of the target center, which is located right outside right field, Bullseye is already wagging his tail.
I think he always wags his tail.
I think it's great.
I think love that.
It's great.
He's
Pitch is hit on the ground weakly to second. Drew fields and throws. So the Yankees go to the ninth inning down by one little old run and have big hitters coming up. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Now at the end of 8 innings of play, 5-4 Twins on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Well, a couple of defensive changes for the Twins. They've got their better infield now. Trevor Plouffe moves from first base to third base, and Joe Mauer comes in to play first base. And, of course, the closer that we were just talking about, Glenn Perkins, is on the mound trying to close this out. He will face Alex Rodriguez. Got big guys, Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira, and Carlos Beltran.
Now stay tuned following the game for the Agera Energy Yankees postgame show. Agera Energy, the next generation of energy efficiency, demand management, and retail energy supply. Well, the Yankees down by 1 face the great closer of the Twins, all-star Glenn Perkins. 0-1 with an ERA of 1.37, 29 out of 30 in saves. And here is Alex. And he swings and drills one to deep center field. That ball's high. It is far. It is gone. He's tied the game. An ultra-dramatic home run. His 3rd home run of the game. It went to dead center field. What a game for Alexander Emmanuel Rodriguez. It's an A-bomb from A A-Rod, and the Yankees have tied the game. On the first pitch by Perkins, A-Rod sent it over the center field wall. Wow, 3 home runs in the game.
Well, Glenn Perkins just blew another save. That's the second that he's had, and A-Rod is getting pummeled in the dugout with people.
Oh, what a ball game. 3 straight home runs. The pitch to Teixeira is low. And by the way, not one was a cheapie. Of course, it can't be a cheapie in this ballpark. Those 3 were tremendous home runs. 1 in the second deck in left center, 1 in the bullpens in left center, and 1 in dead away center. Pitch is a strike to Teixeira. Isn't that amazing?
And that pitch was a fastball right at the knees. That was the easiest swing you have ever seen.
Yes. For A-Rod, he has 23 home runs and 57 RBIs. And Teixeira rockets a base hit into left field. In the shortstop hole. Past the dive and off the glove of Santana. So there is the go-ahead run at first in Mark Teixeira. I mean, you know, this is my 27th year in broadcasting Yankee games. I've broadcast every game they have played. I'm very honored to have done that, obviously, with all the championships and the playoffs. That's one of the great moments that I broadcast. A-Rod hitting 3 home runs in a very big ballpark, and his last one to tie the game. My goodness. Here is Beltran, and he hits a ground ball to third. On to second for 1, back to first, double play.
Well, Joe Girardi just came bolting out of the dugout, so he's going to wait and see what Brett Weber says in the video room to see if he was actually out.
That was pretty close.
Yeah, it was.
I think he's safe. What do you think of that? I think his foot came down before the ball was in Mauer's glove. That's what I think. And now they are going to review it. Susan, how dramatic was that third home run?
If you know what, John, if he had scripted this year, he couldn't have scripted it better.
Right. And boy, you couldn't have scripted this one. The last 3-homer game for A-Rod was on August 14th, 2010, and that was in Kansas City.
And this instant replay review is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Perkins continuing to throw as they're looking at this.
You know, I looked at the replay that we get. And they have all kinds of replays back in New York. But the one replay I saw, it looked like Beltran's foot came down, and he is safe.
He's safe.
I was right. He is safe. So it becomes a 5-4 force.
So first base umpires had 2 calls overturned. He's 0 for 2.
There's Headley, 1 on, 1 out. And Headley takes a breaking ball strike from Perkins.
Now both Shreve and Betances are warming up.
Well, when you're on the road, you can hold your closer back till you get the lead, and you bring him in. Pitch. Caught on a miss. So the Yankees, one thing about the depth of their bullpen, they can go to 3 different guys. So they can hold Miller back, and they can go to Shreve and Betances and Wilson. And that'll be an 0-2 to Headley. And the pitch is low. Headley 0 for 2 with a sac fly. Beltran, the go-ahead run at first with 1 out. On the power of Alex Rodriguez, the Yankees have tied the game at 5. The total is identical, 5-7-1. Beltran with the lead. And the pitch is swung on and looped to right center field. There is a base hit. Rounding second is Beltran. He'll easily go to third. It's a base hit for Headley. And the Yankees have first and third with 1 out. And they're a fly ball away from taking the lead.
And you should see that fists are flying in that Yankee dugout there, giving fist bumps to Headley as he goes to first base. Boy,
So the Yankees have first and third, one out. Here's John Ryan Murphy. And the Yankees need a fly ball. The Yankees don't squeeze, so put it out of your mind. They don't either safety or suicide squeeze. Beltran doesn't have that kind of speed anyway. Now the Yankees have first and third. The Twins have to bring the infield up.
You know, that's the same low fastball that Alex put into the seats.
Fastball inside, 1-0 to Murph.
Actually, no seats, into the bullpen.
Murphy is 0 for 3. Infield is up. Beltran the go-ahead run at third. Headley at first with one man out. And Perkins 1-0. Swung on, foul, first base out of play. What Santana and Dozier are doing, and it works for Beltran because he doesn't have any speed, they're playing a couple of steps off the infield grass, so they're equidistant with the second base bag, so they can go for the double play on a ground ball. That'll be a 1-1 to Murphy. And the pitch inside fastball, 2-1. Oh, with the Yankees like a fly ball to take the lead and go either to Betances or Miller. Beltran at third, Headley at first. What a comeback if it works. That's close. There'll be a 2-1 to Murph. The pitch. Swung on, foul, first base side out of play. And the count 2-2. This ends the run of right-hand hitters. And I said, you're not kiddingly last inning. If they get to Gardner, they'll have had a rally. Well, he's on deck, Brett Gardner.
And that pitch was a fastball up, and Murphy just got underneath it. That was a ball that he could have driven.
Now here's the 2-2. Swung on and hit in the air. The deep right center. Back goes Hicks. Away back, looking up, and that ball is gone. It went over the high wall. Oh, my goodness. John Ryan Murphy hits a 3-run home run, and the Yankees take a 3-run lead. John Ryan sends one flying into the right center field seats, and the Yankees have an 8-5 lead.
And I wish I could describe to you the right way what is going on in that Yankee dugout. They are jumping up and down. They are banging on the railing. John Ryan Murphy coming in now, and he is getting pummeled. Alex is jumping all over him. This is
one of the best rallies that I have seen. Of course, I remember things at the moment, but what a rally.
Look at this dugout. Will you look
fabulous.
at this dugout?
And he's such a good kid, and they like him so much. And that's the biggest hit that John Ryan Murphy has ever had.
Well, here's the other thing, John, about this, and Glenn Perkins doesn't know what hit him. He's standing there with his hat off, looking around. It happens. It happens to all of them. It happens to Mariano. It happened to Glenn Hoffman.
Absolutely.
Trevor Hoffman. It happened to all of them. But every time you talk about John Ryan Murphy to any of the other players or any of the coaches, they all say, he doesn't play enough, but he's going to hit.
Here is Gardner. He takes it inside. And for John Ryan Murphy, I said that's the biggest hit he's had as a Yankee. Well, that's his first home run. He now has 8 RBIs. What a rally. Wow. And the pitch to Gardner. That was a breaking ball strike. There's only one out. What John Ryan Murphy did was he stayed back, got a fastball, and he hit it to right center field. I thought it was going to be a sac fly. It went over that 29-foot wall into the crowd. And the pitch is low. So A-Rod's hit 3 home runs, and John Ryan Murphy a 3-run home run, and the Yankees have an 8-5 lead.
Now, remember when I said that John Ryan Murphy had the pitch up and away, and he missed it? He threw him the same pitch again.
2-1 is lined to left field. There is Shane Robinson to make the catch, 2 away.
So Perkins threw him the exact same pitch, except Murphy was ready for it.
No, that was terrific. And it's when you have a runner at third, and whether you're a lefty or righty hitter, it's much easier to go the opposite way and hit the fly ball. You can wait longer. You don't have to take a big swing and miss. You can wait and just drive the ball. And that's what he did, and he drove it out for his first home run. Well, here's Stephen Drew. The Yankees have an 8-5 lead in one of their greatest comebacks of the year. Breaking ball is inside. Remember, A-Rod tied this game with his 3rd homer of the game in the 9th inning on Perkins' first pitch.
And now Andrew Miller is up.
Then a Teixeira single, a Headley single, and a Murphy 3-run home run. The pitch to Drew, grounded up the middle. There's a base hit center field. So Drew singles, and that will bring up Ellsbury. Boy, what a win! Yankees were deep in the soup, down 5-0, and they rallied to tie it and take the lead.
You know why I think, and here comes Joe Barber, and that's going to be the all for Perkins. You know why I think this is the best comeback? Because whom it's against and where they were. I mean, you can have great comebacks. This is a very good team. Yes, and the Yankees were so far down in this game. So Perkins leaves. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by your The new pitcher is another tall lefty, Ryan O'Rourke. And he'll pitch to the lefty hitting Ellsbury with Drew at first, 2 outs. Pitch high. 4 runs are in, and the Yankees have taken an 8-5 lead. What a rally. They're exciting anyway, but when you get the home runs, well, that's exciting rally. Pitch, breaking ball is a strike. Called by the third base umpire, Laz Diaz. A-Rod, 3 home runs tonight for 4 runs. Sac fly by Headley for the 5th, and then the 3-run home run by Murph. There's the 1-1, and a high pop to short. The third baseman, Trevor Plouffe, is off third to make the catch. Well, what an inning for the Yankees. They'll remember this a long time. For the Yankees, 4 runs on 5 hits and 1 left. Now at the end of 8.5 innings of play, the Yankees 8 and Minnesota 5 on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, Andrew Miller comes on for the save. Circle Multicare Center sponsors this Yankee save opportunity. For quality care close to home, choose Workman Circle Multicare Center. The Yankees were down 5-0 in this game. A-Rod homered in the 4th, and it stayed 5-1 till A-Rod hit a 2-run home run in the 7th. The Yankees scored another run to make it 5-4. A-Rod homered again in the 9th to tie it, and John Ryan Murphy hit a 3-run home run to give the Yankees the 8-5 lead. Brian Dozier takes a strike from Miller, and we're underway. Since the Yankees scored at least 6 runs, they have scored 8. Papa John's offering you 50% off your regular menu price order tomorrow at papajohns.com. Just enter promo code Yankee6, promo code Yankee6. There's a breaking ball strike to Dozier, and he's 0-2. The Yankees have an 8-5 lead as we play in the bottom of the 9th. And there's the 0-2 from Miller. Breaking ball, strike 3. And Dozier knew it. He just walked away. Adam Warren is a big part of this win. He held Minnesota right there at 5. He goes 2 1/3, no runs, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. And if the Yankees win, it would be Warren's win. Obviously, Miller would get the save, a 3-run lead. So Dozier strikes out. And with 1 away, here is Aaron Hicks. Switch hitter batting right. And the pitch, strike. 10-second station ID on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Lucas Duda, 2 home runs. Michael Conforto, 4 for 4. Mets lead the Dodgers 15-2. Tony Page follows the Yankees on WFAN and WFAN-FM, New York.
There'll be an 0-1. Hicks takes inside. John Sterling, Sweeney Murdy, and Susan Waldman, Heisman. They're at Target Field. The Yankees, with an ultra-dramatic rally, have an 8-5 lead. Hicks has homered and singled. Been a lot of home runs tonight. 2 by the Twins and 4 by the Yanks. Pitch hit on the ground to third. Headley digs it out and fires across 2-way. When A-Rod hit the home run to tie, and then Murphy, instead of hitting a sac fly, hit a fly ball over the high wall into the right field seats. And the Yankee bench, that was like a college team winning the NCAA. Pretty exciting stuff. Now in baseball, you have to forget about it because they play tomorrow afternoon, as they say, a quick turnaround. 2 outs, no one on. Here is Trevor Plouffe, the right-hand hitting third baseman. And Miller deals backdoor breaking ball strike. Plouffe is 0 for 4. And the 0-1 is low. And the count 1-1. That's a big win. Toronto won. Baltimore won. So the Yankees, if they win, one out away, will hold on to their 7-game loss column lead. The pitch is grounded foul off third. Tampa would be 8 back on the loss side, and Boston losing would be 13 back on the loss side. It'll be a 1-2. And Miller ready to deal. Swung on and grounded wide to third. Headley fields, steps, fires. In time. Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win. Their most exciting, dramatic win of the year. A-Rod hits 3 home runs, and John Ryan Murphy hits his first home run of the year, a 3-run job, and the Yankees come all the way back to win it 8-5. I know it's July 25th, I think, so this will be forgotten by tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday, but right now, hey, you have to live for the moment, and right now, this is by far the Yankees' most exciting, dramatic win. Obviously, we will wait for Susan. Miller pitches a 1-2-3. Yankees win it 8-5. And we will hold it right here for Susan. An ultra exciting night for the Yanks. As dramatic a victory. That thing is in baseball. I guess this is the bad thing, unlike, let's say, football, where you can rejoice for a week. You don't rejoice in baseball. They're playing an afternoon game tomorrow. And, we'll give you the times as soon as Jack tells me to make sure that I have the right times. But tomorrow afternoon, the third and final game, the rubber game of the 3-game series. What a night for the Yankees. They're dead in the water. And thanks to A-Rod's 3 home runs, and then John Ryan's first home run of the year, a 3-run job, the Yankees wind up winning the game 8-5. We'll get back with the totals in a moment here on the WFAN New York Yankees Radio Network Driven. Now we're back at Target Field. Aaron Hicks hit a 2-run home run in the first. The second batter up from Minnesota, Brian Dozier, had led off the game and singled, and so Hicks homered, and it was 2-0. In the third inning, Hicks singled, Sano singled, a little squibber up the first baseline, and Torrey Hunter hit a 3-run homer to right. It was 5-0. And the Yankees finally got on the board on an A-Rod home run in the fourth to make it 5-1. It stayed that way till the seventh, when Young doubled and A-Rod hit his second home run. By the way, they all were blast. One was in the upper deck and left. The next one was in the bullpen in left center, and that made it 5-3. And the Yankees tacked on another run as Teixeira doubled, and ultimately Headley hit a sacrifice fly to score Tex, and it was 5-4. We go to the ninth inning. Glenn Perkins, the great lefty closer, comes in for Minnesota, and A-Rod hits a bombaroo into the center field batter's protection to tie the game at 5. Teixeira singled, and after Beltran forced him, Headley singled, and Beltran went to third. John Ryan Murphy trying to hit a sac fly, hit one over the 29-foot high scoreboard wall in right center, a 3-run home run. And the Yankees won the game 8-5. As exciting as it can be, and A-Rod with 3 home runs. First time he's done it in 5 years. He did it in 2010 in Kansas City. Well, here are the totals for the Yanks. 8 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, they left 2 for Minnesota. 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, they left 7. In relief, Adam Warren wins. He's 6-5. Andrew Miller collects his 23rd save, and Glenn Perkins, the loser, is 0-2. With the victory, the Yankees go to 54-42. They're 12 over, and they retain their 7-game loss column lead over Baltimore and Toronto. Tampa Bay 8 back on the loss side, and Boston 13. With the loss, Minnesota drops to 52-45. The time of the game, 2 hours and 54 minutes, and the attendance, 40,660. And once again, the final score, the Yankees 8 and Minnesota 5. New York Yankees baseball is a production of Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM, WFAN, in conjunction with the New York Yankees. Studio operations by Mike Carver and Brian Rascona. The producer engineer in the booth is Jack Candy Maldonado. Executive producer Dove Kramer. Coordinating producer Vicky Biello. Production assistance by Rick Roush. Now please stay tuned for the